What a world, DJ on the mag, what coming in with another gameplay for your retinas, people, because I'm having fun with Silphymon and I'm ready to absolutely go in and go hard. So, what we got here is me facing off with the fishies as I'm going in with an absolute power play with the promo Yoli with a Hawkmon combo. And you know this brother's locked in because we're on a bit of a stern word with our brother. And now he's absolutely getting that search on and getting some key pieces, which is highly beneficial for us to effectively pop off next turn. So what we got here, Digimon X antibody in the back, and then we are climbing up line right here, which is very worrying because, you know, I've literally got nothing in raising and I've got an instant Hawkmon out on the front line. So I'm going to go with the Plesiomon in the back, BT16 edition, which is going to cost me 1, which I'm all right with. And right here I'm thinking, what is the line of play? I've only faced off with essentially the fish slash Digimon X line once, and that was at a Digimon tournament, and it was pretty menacing then. So I'm going in hella blind as I go into that security and trip into a Digimon at 2k. So I'm absolutely living. So right now we go into Plesiomon. God, cannot pronounce that for the life of me. And he's going straight hood, running those pockets and stripping my sources, which now it's bringing back flashbacks of how this deck actually works. So I'm thinking, you know what? I will just barrier that. It's absolutely fine. We're all good. But the thing in hindsight is that I should have probably just taken the L, because with this deck, they get absolute value in me just being out in the open. As you can see, he unsuspended, he's gone for another swing. So that's 2 checks regardless right there. Goes in with the X antibody play, which here is going to reduce the next Evo by 1, which absolutely gives him the value, and he bounces. So in reality, he's done 2 checks safely and bounced my Digimon back. So I'm going to have to say in raising. The reason why is that I'm just going to get insta-bounced if I come out, and also that X antibody is pretty much like an ice wall on legs, which is not great at all. So I'm staying pretty cushy. I'm bullied into a corner, which is never great. And this brother is now setting up another stack in raising as he goes for a swing. Obviously not getting the full inheritable and all that jazz because, you know, can't strip anything, can't bounce anything and so forth. But sets up with a Joe, which Joe's going to gain him memory if I have a Digimon with no sources, which we don't want. We do not want that at all. So I think realistically, probably better just stay in the back. I'm not ready. I am not ready to go out. Not even got the cards in order for me to pop off. So I'm just going to do some further setup. See how I can, you know, potentially live another turn, perhaps. But brother is going in again and absolutely going to crash into a 12k. And I'm thinking, why is this brother at 13k? Why is he at 13k? Because I really needed him to die. But goes for the unsuspend, play off the option, which once again, just running through my ends. If anything, if he did push out that turn, I would have been dead. But now it's time to respond. I got him on. It's time to lock in. Tamers, let's stop throwing out some bodies out because we need to make an absolute comeback. So I'm thinking of the options, and realistically, they've got no champions in the back. So I'm going to have to go with the promo Hawkmon and get a search going on. Lucky enough, we managed to get the Aquilomon, which is just perfect right here because this really opens up a lot of plays. And getting that tamer really comes in super clutch because we're at 4 memory. We gained that memory because we did have a free type dropped because, you know, Yoli's a start of main, and obviously the dual tamer is also start of main to play out a Hawkmon. So that really comes in clutch here. So it makes me able to execute some brilliant plays whilst trying to get rid of that big body out on the board because realistically, we need to control board or we dead. We absolutely clapped. We're taking the L plates home, which I don't want. So the likely play that I'm going to execute here is throw down another dual tamer. And because we do have the promo Hawkmon with the inheritable, which is super clutch, and this is why promo Hawkmon is amazing and is an absolute must to run Silphymon DNA deck, is that end of turn DNA. And this right here, because I've got those 2 tamers out, which enable me to gain memory, the added benefit of obviously DNAing into Silphymon is that I'm able to then minus 3k on top of that, making sure that, you know, we hit the threshold in order to delete this big ass fish because it's getting out of control. So you can see here, I'm going to execute the suspend, get the minus 3000 DP, trip that off. Obviously, we've got to take into consideration he has got X antibody underneath, so it's going to be pushing him up to 5 security. So that puts me in a slightly a bit more of an awkward situation because it's like 5 security versus 0 security. I mean, I know how the odds are looking here. It's not looking great for me, but we're going to try and claw it back. We're going to try and claw it back because realistically, he could have won the turn before, but he didn't push out. Brother was scared. So right now, I'm like, right, got rid of the body. Obviously, do I want to swing? Probably not, because realistically, I don't want to die. So I'll play it safe and just put out the Silphymon. Obviously, I don't trigger the DNA because there's no targets and I can't exactly DNA into anything. And it is the opponent's turn and pushes out the Gomamon. Obviously, Gomamon's start of main goes off, which effectively runs those pockets and enables him to effectively strip one of my sources, which is a little bit unfortunate. And then on top of that, we got the freaking Joes just absolutely gaining that memory, putting him to 5, which is not great right now. But we gotta see how we somewhat restabilize, because we are at a massive disadvantage. Obviously, that Ikakumon then comes off and absolutely just strips all my sources nearly. It's like I've DNA'd, I've got a variety of sources in my stack, but now I'm left with 2, which is the egg and Silphymon. So Evo's into the ultimate, which is absolutely fine, but it does stop me from attacking. But I wasn't necessarily intending to attack because I don't know what his full top end is. He could be running some rogue ace for all I know. So right here, I'm going to gain that memory. That's definitely a plausible play. I then go and trigger the Yoli and Kari to throw out another body, which makes complete sense for me to then utilize and Digivolve into a level 4 from my trash with a free trait or holy beast. So right here, that's plenty of targets. I've got my Aquilomon and I've got my Garamon that he absolutely stripped off me. So right here, I'm thinking, right, what do we do? Obviously, we can't pop anything with the Aquilomon, but we can gain memory right here, which seems like the plausible play. I've not necessarily got a DNA play that I can execute as of yet, so this makes perfect sense in order for me to essentially use that. So then we found another Hawkmon right here, trigger the effect to effectively grab out another tamer. In hindsight, maybe I should have gone with the Valkyrie Ace, but I thought having another tamer might come clutch for a possible DNA play later on down the line if I actually live. So I'll go with the BT16 Hawkmon in the back, and then I throw Evo into a Garamon promo edition. I do enjoy Garamon promo just because I can effectively Evo into it efficiently without really being specific to having Silphymon being the previous source. So right here, obviously we do go into a DNA play, which is going to work fantastic for us in order to just delete that, which is great. And then we can also pop the Gomamon that is also played out from the source. So right now we eating. We're back in the power seat. Thank God for that. Might not get bodied. So I feel brave and going for the swing. Obviously my inheritable is not really useful at this point, but regardless, going in for a swing and actually pressing on some damage, which is great. Getting rid of that X antibody that was obviously originally placed back in due to me deleting that body before, which is fine. And then I go in to the Valk Ace. So right here, I'm thinking, right, I've got enough swings to finish this up. I am eating. How have I turned this around? I have no idea, but I have, and I'm just sitting comfy. Obviously got a raise in the back, get a bit more draw, and then he pulls out the card, which really just stumped me completely. Kakotis Breath whips out. I mean, I've not seen this card in a while. Obviously pretty much plays that, gains the memory off of the overflow, and right now he plays out the Sora and Joe. And obviously I return back into my hand because that was played off of the dual tamers. So right here I'm like, how did I go from being in the power seat to now sweating a little bit? Because like I say, I'm still currently at 0 security whilst the opponent is at 4. So lucky enough, we do have the dual tamers out. We can get our searches on. This is the reason why I do like the Hawkmon package, is because I can just basically search out pieces that I need, which is great. Hopefully, if we do get some more Hawkmons later down the line that add more searchability with cool inheritables, it'll even boost the deck even further. So right now, going to the Valk Ace for the cost of 3, and we're going to apply that pressure on once more. I think it is definitely the plausible play to ensure that we do gain some memory in order for us to extend our plays, so I suspend both of the tamers for real, because I don't think, judging by my hand, another DNA play is going to be popping off, unfortunately. But I think we've got enough kind of swings in order for us to essentially do a lot of damage and make it impactful. So we are clawing down right here, but I felt at the time a little bit baited because I'm like, oh crap, I've literally got no way to essentially block that final swing that he's got cooking. But look enough, if he does swing, I do have the Valk Ace that I can go and evo into, which is perfect. And the thing here, which would have been so useful if I had a Fire Rocket, because Fire Rocket with BT16 Silphymon is the absolute nuts, because this brother's got jamming. He's jamming like the Bob Marley, baby, and it's all sweet. But unfortunately, I do not have the Fire Rocket. So I go into now our Garudamon Ace, which enables us to play out a tamer. So right here, I go with the dual tamer. The reason why I don't necessarily go with the promo Yoli is because I won't get the maximum value. Like, I don't want to play out a body, because if I do, then Sora Joe kicks off and absolutely strips me. So right there, I'm just like, nope, don't want that gain happening from the opponent off the Sora Joe. So right there, only the 2 other tamers can gain advantage. So at this point, I'm like, right, the brother's digging. He's digging. He's sweating. He knows the play, what's going on. How can he answer my board right here? He's got to do something. And I'm thinking, I just got to get one more swing. So he plays down the blue, plays out the mental training, and he gets the freaking Zudo. The only one answer he could have in order to ruin my day. I kid you not. Right there, double strip, bounce the Garudamon Ace back to hand. Then he effectively evos into the goddamn big ass fish. And I'm just like, oh my days, bro. I was sitting so well. So we go with the partition, and then obviously bounce those back, gets 4 memory, still his turn. I am so triggered at this point, I'm not gonna lie. Out of the mental training, just getting the Zudo Ace, just top deck, heart of the cards BS, just came clutch for a boy. So obviously I can't evo into my my Valk Ace because I've not got a level 5 on board. I've not got a Garuda, which I do have a Garuda, but what is he doing? This brother has not got blocker. Unfortunately, it would be megas if he did. And I can't necessarily do a thing. I mean, having a Hawkmon with blocker would be super clutch right about now. But unfortunately, no blocker right there. So I'm just doing this for comic effect and absolutely take a freaking hard L and just like, absolutely stung. But you know, it is what it is. If you enjoyed the video, smash it with a like as standard, guys. Absolutely fun commentary right here. Enjoy being back doing these. But stay safe, stay fly, and I'll catch you next one. D-Dread, off the mic.